Hello again, everyone. Welcome back here to BTM Racing TV, where we're live in my hometown, my home state, Newton, Iowa Speedway. Here now, live for the Pushing Limits Racing League return to form of a series we know all too well. The Street Stocks are back in town, and they are here to put up a fight and put on a show as the season draws near to a close. Hi again, everyone. I'm Christian Crusaders Driver, joined with my friend and colleague here, Kenneth Crawford. Ken, right now, as we're in my home state, hometown, I know you're sharing a few Busch Lights and a few Iowa chops with me, but man, we're returning to our roots tonight, man. We're back in Iowa, dude.
Yeah, definitely throwing those bushes back. But yeah, man, it's going to be a good race here tonight. I'm really curious to see what these guys can do here on the track with these little bit of old school cars. You know, like you said, throwing it back to the roots back when PTM first got on iRacing. So it'll be pretty cool to see these guys back or guys and girls back into these cars again.
It will indeed. Let's go ahead and take a look at our lineup right now. Cindy the Closer Taylor will lead him off in the 0-7 to her outside. The Rattlesnake Robert Kahn, 21. Runner number 2 is Keith Checkmate Taylor in the 0-8 that is outside. That's going to be Brandon Pike, the number 12. Last week's feature winner there in the Super Late Miles. Row number 3 is going to be Matthew Hoffer in the 28 is outside. Tom Lanyard, the 22. Row 4 sees Nick Kern, the 69 is the outside of him will be Wally Babb, the 0-99. Row number 5 is Chantel, the throttle bottle on the 5 to her outside. It's old Dustin Sornaker in the 66. Row number 7 is going to, is going to be Jeffrey Todd-Tufts in the 72, and that is outside Stanley Pottle, the 48. And then Jerry Keeney in the 61, rounding out your field here. Well, race fans, it is about that time, about that show. Go. Cindy Taylor, one of the only drivers actually had never won in the Street Stock Series up in the first season we ever broadcasted on PT Race TV. As a matter of fact, I was actually in the track there running when the Asphalt Series before I had to transition over to dirt. It's been a while since I've done that, and obviously you went right into dirt, Ken. So you got the long end of the stick here and got a good shot at doing that.
Oh yeah, definitely a long road to start. You know, fresh into it. These cars are definitely really good starter cars, though. That's for sure. Learn the basics of running asphalt. You know, they can be kind of tricky, but they're definitely a good learning car. That's for sure.
They may be a good learning car, but at the same time, I feel like these honestly are probably one of our more fun cars we see out on the track. The only downside is if they would fix the suspension in there and allow for a little bit more bumping and banging, I think these cars are just perfect. Because honestly, I've said it once, I'll say it again. Speed doesn't always make a race. Sometimes a slower car with good bumping, banging back and forth with one another, or even those Formula Vs we've seen on iRacing that can pull off a draft line in a matter of seconds, can literally surprise and bewilder some of the best races, the best drivers, and make for some good shows. We'll see how well that holds up here now as they bring him across here out of turn 4. It's time to go back green with the Street Stock Series. Here they come now on the front stretch. The green flags out, and Pushing Limits is off.
Down here in turn 1, we got Cindy Taylor taking the lead, followed by the number 21, Robert the Rattlesnake Kahn, and as she pulls out to an early lead there.
Key Checkmate Taylor in the 0-8 will lead him off on the inside zone here on the back straightaway, trying to get the Union 76 machine up ahead. Cindy up a little high here, a little bit on the ground level here. Here comes the Rattlesnake Robert Kahn straight to the bottom, but does not have the full runoff we was expecting. Multi-groove track of Iowa Speedway showing its worth right now with the Street Stocks.
Oh yeah, and these cars, these are definitely easy to kind of blow the turns out too. If you go too far into it, you'll definitely it'll shoot you up the track. That's for sure, and it'll bite you. That's for sure.
Speaking of shooting up the track right now, back out to the back straightaway here. It is the number 12 of Brandon Pike, last week's feature winner in the Super Late Miles at Martinsville. Going out of here right now, Tom Lanier in the 22 as he goes right into a 3-wide slip between him and Chantel, the throwing up Otto. Which, fun fact for you folks at home, Chantel was the very first winner we ever had on PTM Racing TV back at Charlotte Motor Speedway in this same car. And as of late in the Super Late Models, well, it seems like Iowa's become her home because she just can't seem to figure out how to stop dominating this track. Still undefeated in the Pedal to the Metal Racing League Super Late Model Series. We'll see if she can continue that streak in Iowa next time out. But right now, the drivers, though, I gotta admit, everyone pretty clean so far. I'm not seeing too much runs and bumps. Everyone's kind of staying with each other, and it's pretty good side-by-side battle every now and then. Even Checkmate is putting up a little fight there to Cindy.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe they're taking a little bit more of a conservative route, kind of saving their cars a little bit for the end of the race, where it matters too. As you've seen that kind of work in a lot of people's favors back in Martinsville too. So curious to see what they're going to do here, if they're going to start beating and banging here soon or what.
We'll find out later on, I guess. But right now, we're at the onboard camera here with last week's feature winner. As you see, the man himself, Phil the Burn, Nick Kern. And the 69 curb record Sunoco machine trying to hold in the line, maybe put up a little fight there to Keith and Cindy. In the between, 3 wide salute, they laid him off.
Definitely a 3 wide salute here going out pretty early. It looks like Nick Kern's going to edge out the number 08 there as he slides up, almost gets into him a little bit there.
He almost does indeed, but Chantel the throttle bottle even inserting her will in there. She goes 3 wide with the race pack here. She's up for a fight. She wants to try to take this one in.
It definitely is a number 42 or number 12 car cuts down low on her a little bit. It looks like she's, like you said, going to insert her there and see how she can do.
She seems to be running in a little bit of trouble down there, though, because you got Pike that's running the line usually most drivers will try to run, which is the bottom end, running off to the top. Right here in the street stocks, there really actually is a little bit more groove and a little more power on the middle end because you're having to turn in a lot less. And believe it or not, when you're turning a lot less, it actually gives you a little bit more speed. The street stocks right now seem to be doing just that and then some. As currently, Key Checkmate Taylor, he's falling back on this one. He's got a lot of ground to clear up in this here.
Oh yeah, these cars are definitely easy to overdrive almost, but like you said, if you kind of let them like float on and you get that nice happy medium, you can definitely be really fast in these.
Oh, you can indeed, but you can also have trouble like we see right up at turn 1 and 2. Oh, Cindy Taylor gets a little tag there to Mr. Kern, and she feels the burn of the Kern.
Oh man, some beating and banging going on there for sure.
That was a hard run there into turn 1 and 2 there. We'll take a look at the PT Instant replay, find out what happened here. But, I mean, it was pretty obvious. They went and hit that turn. We saw it in the overhead for a minute. You can watch right here. Cindy didn't have much of an area to get out of. She was in a 3 wide salute. And Kern kind of chopped her down a little bit. But good driving and maneuverability on Cindy and Kern to get out of that mess. But, again, that was a little bit harrowing, to say the least, to get out of that mess.
For sure.
Just taking another look at it, you can see right here, Kern just kind of drifts off a little bit. And talk about Chantel holding her line in. She barely, if at all, touches the wall, but does get a little bit of Kern, so don't think there's any damage really sustained other than the 07 and maybe a little bit of the side skirt there of Kern. I think Nick right about now, though, is not going to mind too much there, isn't he, bud?
Oh no, I talked to him earlier today, and he said he's pretty much just out here to have fun. So we'll see what happens with him.
Well, definitely indeed. Here right now on the chat right now, Junior Chapman returning to the show. He says, Tom Lanier will win. Everyone else racing for second. Well, Tom, you said that quite a few times, and don't get me wrong, Tom's a fast cat, but Junior, I'm currently watching Tom running it out here. He's got to start putting up some fights here, in my opinion, but he's definitely got it dialed in at times, and he can surely put on a show. Kathleen Crawford, or I believe someone you may know, coming in, hashtag Team Moldy, hashtag Team Rattlesnakes, hashtag Team Kern, and then hashtag Team Lanco, or Lanco, Lanco?
Yeah, I think it's Lanco. I think she's talking about Lancaster County, which is the home of me, Robert the Rattlesnake Con, and Mr. Nick Kern, so.
All right, well, I guess I'll head a little farther down south, though, from you guys, from your Pennsylvania native land to a little bit down in South Carolina, North Carolina territory, where I see our old friend Dustin Sonaker, the 66, as he rings out a scheme that I have not seen in God forbid how long. The Country Time Lemonade 66 machine. I'll tell you one thing, folks. I remember watching that thing go straight in across and battle it hard at Daytona, trying to get his first career win in. He didn't get it till literally back at Michigan International Speedway with the Truck Series in a pretty much kind of a chaotic mess, to say the least. Everyone kind of causing out the cautions, causing up trouble. He managed to actually work off of the fuel run and pretty much the timing as well, and that ended up working out well in his favor that night. Time ran out, and he kept fuel up, and he won. So, but he has yet to win a definitive race, and I know for a fact he's trying to change that here.
Yeah, Sparky definitely puts a lot of heart and soul in the racing. He's one of the nicer guys out here, and he's always out here to have a good time and race clean too. So let's see what he can do tonight.
We certainly will indeed. Right now, still looking pretty picture clear quality on our streams here. A little bit different than the last time we ever saw the street stocks on PTM Race TV. When that was back when we was running the old motor and the engine on our PC, and also the old settings we had here. We finally got everything dialed in. We finally got a new internet service and all that cleared up back then, and we finally started really figuring these things out left and right. And as you fans wanted it at home, you wanted a clearer stream, you wanted more action, you weren't racing. Well, I think we finally delivered over that year in due time. So, but it's just crazy to think 1 year ago in this month we had watched street stocks come out here and battle it out on some of the toughest tracks. Even one track in particular I remember fondly that you did not see of on an actual scale, but I'll tell you right now, I was in person driving that thing, and in South Boston was a tight corner track that, you know, I thought may have been my night, even though I had been crashed out once or twice and had so many issues. But I mean, they still hanged out pretty well, and you know, I ended up coming away second to Dakota Bruh. But I don't know, maybe you watched that POV stream there, Ken, but these things are kind of crazy out there if you don't drive them right.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you know, the nice thing about these is they're kind of an intermediate car, so you can run them at your real short tracks. They're a little bit of a handful on your super speedways, obviously, but they're a nice intermediate car. And I remember watching you guys back in the day battle it out and duke it out before I got back on here, and it was these things definitely can be a handful, that's for sure.
They certainly are. Right now, the race fans, we're getting ready to finally get this one settled up. Drivers tired of waiting, tired of being caught off in the spot here. They want to get back to the racing. Cindy Taylor having to get cleared up by the officials and letting her know that she can go back out and race the 07 machine. As they will book them. Go ahead.
As we go around here, we're going to see who can get the jump. We got the number 12 of Brandon Pike here, and Chantel's got her all the way up to 5th place. I guess she maybe she didn't pit or something like that, or I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention too much, but yeah, she worked her way up, see how she can do in that old throwback ride, you know.
No pit stop for her, and I believe no pit stop for Nick Kern, so that will inevitably set up the field a little bit more. Looking for a long-term linked race here. Bobby Kahn was running hard earlier on. We'll see if the rattlesnake works well from the tires. He burnt in earlier on and get back to the action. Green flag is out, and Wally Bab not wasting any time. He's rocking a little mellow yellow around here. Oh, I believe that's an old Davey Allison scheme down there, if I remember right.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then Robert the Rattlesnake on jumps out to an early lead there as Chantel works her way under the number 12. And it seems like she can take that position running that low line. She scoots her way up.
Down on the inside here, the Puddles Racing number 5 streaming right now on her end. As you can see, currently she's having a little bit of a bobble coming out of turn 4. We know that turn to be all too well. It's a bit of a handful down there to say the least. It really can give these drivers struggles and problems as we go through these corners. But so far, everyone's seemingly hanging on as Rattlesnake, and God forbid, I know you can't see what I'm seeing on that car, but what in God's green earth was he thinking when he put that thing on the front of that hood? I swear on my mother's grave, I will never understand why this cat put whatever the heck that, I know it's his face. Don't comment section, don't come after me about it. I just want to know just why. I still remember there's a meme out there of literally him right in front of a car that looked like the U.S. Air Force Afterburner, Bubba Wallace's old 483. And it was just the teeth literally just staring right at him, and you could just see his face like that. It was a perfect picture. I don't know who did that, but seriously, someone find me that picture. I wanted to see that again. It was so funny.
I think back there was like a little throwback race, and I think it was like about a year or two ago where some of the Cup guys put their faces on the front of their cars. I think it was just a big joke. It was pretty funny, though. I'd definitely get a kick out of it, that's for sure.
I mean, at least you'll be able to know who's right there on the track of it once in a while, right?
Hey, there's no denying it, bud.
Whoa, hot for a little loose. 5 really loose. Watch out. Oh, and big smack there. Drivers crashing in. Unfortunately, caution's back out, and Jeffrey Todd Tufts. Let's just say that front end might have just completely got destroyed in the wreckage. Tire.
Oh, yeah, number 5 has significant damage on the front of her car. She's really crab walking there.
That 72 is literally just broke the whole front end in completely. Both axles destroyed. David Stanley Pottle gets a little left tap there from the 5 Chantel. She looks like if a monster truck literally just like broke the rear steer, and that's what it ended up looking like. She's trying to drive with no rear steer. That's the best way I can explain it. Oh! She flips it over on the back straightaway. Come on, flip it over! Yes! She got it over at least.
Yeah, she got it back on 4. That's all that matters.
She got it over more than Roman Reigns when he was trying to be a babyface in WWE, for crying out loud. Anyway, let's go back. Before we talk any more jokes at what happened there, let's go back to the PT Mr. Replay. All drivers are okay, and we're getting word right now. Some of them are laughing a little bit, and they're also kind of annoyed at us. So let's just find out what happened. Looked like coming out of turn 4 here, she just drove in a little too hard. She was fighting quickly at Pike, and the inexperience of returning with these street stocks really kind of hampered her, and unfortunately got kind of caught up in a bad little spot, a bad little pickle there, and just completely destroyed all that was left of that car. And we're actually going to go on board here with Jeffrey Todd Tufts here on the replay. I'm going to show you what he saw when that happened. Yeah, look at that car though, man. This thing gives me some old vibes just looking at this car, man. I miss running these things. These were fun to drive, and at the same time, really annoying to drive. Yeah, that's when the whole car got tore up. You couldn't tell, but I think he kind of figured out by now he has no steering. That thing is completely destroyed in.
Definitely some considerable damage there, that's for sure.
Let's just say he's got 2 new tires on that thing already and a new repair. Thankfully, they do allow for 3 instant repairs on the track and on the level, so they do get a few to work off of. But don't think for 1 second that they can just use them up when they feel like. They still got to be wary of it.
Oh yeah, it's definitely like I can play a whole strategy into it too. You know, sometimes you can bang your car around a little bit, and you decide maybe I'll fix it up and get a little bit faster run to it, and might be a mistake too, because you might get caught in a late race caution where you bend your car up pretty bad to where you can't actually fix it, and you're running out of quick repairs, and you're stuck in the pits there. So
it definitely is the case here right now. Currently, we're leading up to the lead lap here. Jerry Keeney will be on the start for this one. Dustin Sonaker on the outside of him. And to be honest with you, out of the two, if I was a betting man, I'd put my money on anybody. I'd probably have to go with Dustin Sonaker on this. I just feel like he's gonna have a lot better go around, a lot better rundown than Keeney's gonna. Not anything of Keeney, but the experience of Dustin Sonaker to me is just more. It's more appropriate, more on the nose, in my opinion, than you see with most drivers, because he's always been in that hunt, in that shot. But he's never had a true definitive win that I mentioned before. Is tonight going to be his night and finally change that? Because he's got some company behind him, and Cindy Taylor and Robert Kahn to kind of sneak his way up with Brandon Pike there too.
oh, yeah, definitely. Like I said, a lot of seat time in these things can definitely really help you out, and that's what I found works best for me. Is a lot of seat time in some of these cars will really change your way of driving and more of understanding them, especially just as me just starting out. So.
For sure there. And by the way, I need to clarify some on last time out. I would say I meant the asphalt side of things. Dirt size wise, last time we ever showcased these drivers was back at Bark River Speedway with the Pro 2 lights, and that night it would go to Keith Checkmate Taylor. We have our eye on right now on the Union 08 machine. He certainly put up a good fight there, and a little bit of some heat with his sister there, to say the least. But obviously those two kind of patched things up the next day. They were fine. So, but nevertheless, Keith getting his first win of the season in, and the points battle right now is looking more and more extreme by the minute as we are approaching the final legs of our races, which will conclude at Bristol Motor Speedway with, get this, the Next Gen Cup Series.
Boy, I can't wait for that one. That's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, the Next Gen Cup cars, for those at home that don't know, right now, I believe they're still really developing and figuring them out on iRacing, but I got to tell you, I absolutely love running those things on short tracks. I don't really mind the intermediates. I think the intermediates in the 1.5 miles and 2 miles are kind of at best, and super speedways are okay. But if you threw me on a short track with those things, I don't know what it is, but like they just are so much fun to run, and they can really bump and bang and have some fight in them. So I gotta believe they will be out for some blood and out for a show that night, and you can tune in to live here on the show to catch that. Marla Scafferty Pike running on board, saying it says Geaux, Brandon Pike. I'm sorry, but unless that's some kind of other language term, I'm not sure what that refers to.
Maybe it's French. I don't know. It sounds like French a little bit.
Well, you know a little bit of French. You're a ladies' man. You could get a little French accent for our theaters around here.
Oh, I don't know all about that, bud.
All right, well, while you try to figure out how to talk French and maybe a little French kiss or two, we're going back to the green. Keeney, well, you got a little bit of a better restart than anybody. I'm not sure if he jumped the gun there or what happened, but Dustin Sonaker got left behind. Now the field's trying to catch him back up. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe he did a little jump, but he shuffles his way back in there as people were kind of scooting him around. I mean, he lost his pace a little bit or something. I don't know what happened, but Yeah, that was. It seemed a little early, but like you said, you guys make the call on that one.
You make the call on that indeed right now as we go back up to the front here. A battle for the race lead. Cindy Taylor versus the Rattlesnake Rubber Gun. The closer versus the Rattlesnake. Which one can outdo the other? We know these two have fought hard before, but the only thing is, Khan does have a victory to his name. Cindy never won in the street stocks. Matter of fact, season 1, she never won at all. Yet still walked away a season champion because of consistency and how she plays in fishes at the Legends Series. And right now, I gotta believe this would be a big barner for her to get a win in finally, and something she's been wanting to win so badly.
Yeah, definitely. Always itching to get that first win, especially in like a series you haven't ran and stuff like that. It always feels good too. You're kind of fighting tooth and nail for it. So
She certainly is right now. We go to the onboard camera here with our 099 Wally Bab. The Babylon, Babbin machine, if you will. Trying to fight it out here with Tom Lanier. We heard earlier on from Junior Chapman. Tom Lanier being the guy to beat. Well, right now, Lanier is currently back at 7th place, but don't count him out. We know before he's got some serious speed in these cars. But kind of judging the way he's on the onboard camera, it seems like he's working the steering wheel a little bit more than I feel like some of the other drivers are right now, Kenneth.
yeah, definitely. So a lot of people that I've learned have very different styles. There's a certain way of driving as to where the Rattlesnake, he likes to saw more at the wheel, and what likes a little bit looser feeling is to where, in my personal opinion, I like it a little bit tighter and, a little bit easier to drive. You don't have to really do too many adjustments while you're driving, just nice and easy. So people definitely differ in their lines and how they run and everything like that.
They certainly do indeed. Caution flies out here. A little traffic up ahead. Stanley Pottle with problems in the 48. Driver's trying to back him down, back him down, back him down, guys. Stanley obviously not trying to get in the way of anybody. He's just trying to get some experience and probably also going to try to get into pit road if he can. There he goes. He finally gets into pit road. But we'll have to take a look at the PT Mr. Replay and find out what the heck happened to the one of the Pottle clans here. So we got to look at it from here now. Looks like Dustin Sonacre even fell back quite a few ways here. This is what happened with Stanley. He's already got a little bit of damage on the right side there, so as he comes around the corners, he's already trying to keep that car from getting too tight on him, but you can see right there it just went straight left and a straight right. And Jerry Keeney even getting a little piece of him here. Both drivers tagged in completely, and unfortunately that caused the big one there for both drivers to get into that mess. So that will slow everybody down and put them back up into the placement zone here. Will be interesting to see now how Cindy and Robert go off of that here. This is going to be a little bit of an interesting situation for both drivers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And these restarts always shake things up. It seems like a lot of position changes and stuff like that. A little bit of strategy going on there too.
Right now, it definitely will be the case here. And Marla saying as well, it means go. We are from Louisiana, lol. Oh. Sorry, Marla. We did not mean to. Well, isn't New Orleans technically got a little bit of that, kind of that little lavish look style? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking cool
Yeah,
backwards.
everybody has their different styles and twangs and dialects and all that. So
Man, you're talking to a guy that's really just a redneck from Carlisle, Iowa, that just doesn't care about nothing but except drink a couple Busch Lights and occasionally go work out so I don't get a too big of a beer gut. What are you talking about?
hey, bud, you go to each different end of the state from Pennsylvania to Philly to Pittsburgh, and there are two completely different cups of tea talking. It's pretty crazy.
Well, I think right now, currently, you're trying to talk about the southeast and west side of our state here in Iowa. Right now, Newton, on the better side, I would say. It's like Newton, Marshtown, like the two main tracks I've gone to in my lifetime. Hey, couldn't be any more diverse and different if you tried. Newton, a little more down to earth, a little more friendly and lifestyle lavishing. Marshtown, well, let's just say if you ain't drinking, then you are considered something I cannot say on screen. So that's all I'm going to say. Let's just say that. Speaking of Iowa, though, just a little heads up for you fans at home, and just kind of a little idea for you here. That's our fun fact section of the story here. While we get the drivers set up.
Man.
Yes, Kenneth. It's been so long since we've done the fun facts here. Usually we doing quite a bit here from NASCAR Heat, but no, we actually are on iRacing now doing them. But guess what? Iowa actually is the world's largest supplier for not just the United States, but it's also one of the largest suppliers for the whole world itself, from parts of like China, Italy, Europe, France. even good parts of the UK. We actually supply up a lot of their crops and corn for multiple varieties of the states and the world because we are the capital of the corn industry, if you can believe it. So I believe it's about 65, 70% of the world and all that, at least the United States wise. A lot of their corn is developed right here in the great state of Iowa.
So that's pretty interesting to think about too, because I mean, I'm out here in Amish land, and we grow a lot of corn out here, and that I guess you guys grow a little bit more. Maybe that's why you guys got those cool cans that the cool cans of Bush that have the corn cob on them too. So I don't know.
We gotta always have that bush lights. No, oh, that's another thing I'll bring into. I think I mentioned before on the show, but if you look on a little meme chart or a little candy chart, you look at Iowa. Iowa's candy of choice is actually Bush Light. I don't know how or why on God's green earth that happened, but let me tell you something, folks. It couldn't be any more true if you tried. As a Midwestern, I could say we love our bushes. We love Bush Light, and occasionally our bushes. And yes, the apple bush tastes really good. I like that too. So while I'm sipping over here on my Bush Light, get ready to get back to some racing here and call this one. I want to remind you as well, home folks, we have the Fast and Fun Riley Challenge coming up right after this. They will be joining us down over in the land of the California little sunset and beach. Well, they are going to be having a little mayhem and carnage down there because they are going road course racing at Auto Club Speedway. You be sure to check that out here on the show, and also if you're watching from the YouTube end back after the race here from Facebook, be sure to like and follow us up here on Facebook, and then on our YouTube, subscribe there if you want to see more great content, or maybe if you just want to hear Kenneth Crawford keep babbling his way around so I can keep making fun of him. You guys choose, up to you. But
Oh
we're
man.
like I say,
So,
if they keep subscribing, they want you back, buddy.
hey, that's not a bad thing. I'm glad that you guys had me back. I enjoyed doing it. It's definitely a lot of fun.
For sure there. Real quick, Carl Babin joining us all in sync. What part of Louisiana y'all from to Marla? We'll let those two chat it up right now as we get ready to set it back to the green flag. Off the start we go. The rattlesnake gets a nice advantage there in the corner, but Cindy will try to hunk him down.
Yeah, definitely, and it's always a familiar battle. And anytime these guys are on asphalt, it's always a battle. You see pretty similar faces up front too, so there's no surprise there.
You certainly do indeed. And right now, the field working their way back to the corners, back into position. Tom Lanier now actually making a little bit of a charge. Matthew Hoffert, who knows this track very well as much as any of the other drivers here, is currently fighting it out here in the back, trying to catch up.
Yeah, definitely. And the number 69, Nick Kern's sneaking his way on up there as he usually does.
Yeah, about to say Nick Kern won for short track racing, mainly on dirt, but he certainly knows how to run the asphalt stuff. He's doing that, and then some. As we got the onboard camera here with Hoffert. Looks like Checkmate Taylor a little bit loose there off turn 4. Looks like he's got some problems down there, almost into a 3-wide situation. As the feel the burn himself, Nick Kern moves ahead.
He's got a little battle going back here with the number 08, Keith Taylor and Brandon Pike here going back and forth side by side. One's going high, one's going low. See which line works out for him better.
Let's see where this goes, because we're going right back up as well to the front, where Robert Kahn and Sidney Taylor once again revisit their old little rivalry they had a minute ago. Back and forth one another, still not giving an inch. Kahn working off a brand new wheel and brand new pedals, he told us earlier on. And, you know, Cindy Taylor's still working off of her wheel and her set she's had since the start of it all. And I'll tell you one thing, ever since she really started dialing things in, started figuring them out, it just seems like she's just gotten much faster and much more under control in each of these corners.
Oh yeah, definitely. The right wheel setup and all that definitely makes a big difference, especially getting comfortable with it too. That's another thing. You definitely got to get real comfortable with it.
Now, if only that CSL Direct Drive from Fantech would already release, so I can find out for sure if it's going to be what the wheel I want, or maybe if I have to go into that Thrustmaster T300 market and just kind of save some costs. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, don't count Thrustmaster. Definitely a good setup there. That's for sure.
I'm not saying anything about them, but I'm just saying if you can get a Fantech, I'm just saying that interchangeable wheel is not gonna lie, it makes me feel very happy inside knowing I could just change from a rallycross slash normal race wheel to literally a Formula 1 style wheel and use that on say the Formula V's where I really need that actual wheel, because those things are not easy to control with on a normal wheel we usually run with these street stocks.
I was like they say too, it's not the wheel that makes the driver, it's the driver that makes the driver sometimes too, you know, bud?
Yeah, you're talking to a guy that has absolutely no idea about road course racing and how to drive that kind of stuff, but I do know how to call it somewhat apparently, so you guys be the judge though in the comments section. But right now, the rattlesnake and the closer are back and forth one another, still neither one giving the advantage. Ken, I gotta ask you, do you think it's a better idea that Sydney is running the bottom line, trying to shorten this track out or trying but kind of burn the tires in, where Khan is driving up really deep and burning them in quicker there, you think?
Well, in theory, you go to shortest the way around the track too, but that doesn't always necessarily mean you're faster. You take the higher line, you can conserve your tires a little bit better, but as the lower line proves to be a little bit faster, you're going to burn it up. So I think it's just a time, see what's going to happen here as the race goes on.
So,
My personal opinion, I'd stay a little bit consistent up top. That's just my opinion.
yeah, if it was me, you know what I'd be doing? I'd be rocking that bottom line, giving her all day, just making sure she does not lose too much out there. But so far, that seems to be Cindy's strategy. It has worked out a few times, but at the same time, it's also kind of played into a bit of a disadvantage with her as the field works their way back and forth one another right now. Tom Lanier going at it here with the 5 of Chantel Bottle. Still rocking a bit of an old school scheme we haven't seen in a very long time. The Matt Mills Racing Follows Wraps machine. And it's so long since we've seen that scheme out on the show, but yeah, that was the first car she ever won in anything iRacing related.
Yeah, I definitely remember seeing that back in the day when you guys first started. It was definitely a cool scheme. It's cool to see it back out there too, especially being up here too to watch it from the broadcast booth.
Yeah, it's crazy to say the least right now. It's currently field still pushing up, pushing on to the fight here. We're down to final 17 laps. Cindy is losing a lot of ground and time. Nick Kern actually kind of catching back up. Maybe learned from his mistakes back at Kansas Speedway. We saw him just last night in the Xfinity Series. Drove it hard off the start, but he burnt them badly. And this time seems to be the opposite. Slowing slow on the start and hammering down on the rest. As we lead into a bit of a 3-wide saloon, turn 3 and 4 here. Todd Tubbs, Chantel Bottle, and Keith Taylor all in this one.
Yeah, time will tell. He definitely maybe learn his lessons there. Like I said, I think that top line is going to definitely work to a lot of people's advantage here, as you're going to see a lot of these drivers running the low line start to fall off a little bit as the number 7 there, Cindy Taylor, slows down a little bit, not too much, but she's definitely losing a little bit of time there.
Oh, speaking of losing a little bit of time, losing a little of ground there out of turn 2. Wally Bab all over the place, trying to get out of that mess as they continue to go 3-wide saloon there out of turn 4. The 5 this time holding her line in a lot better. Tires may have not have been as cold this time as she was earlier, and looks like she's starting to really pick up the pace. She wants a piece of these guys up front.
Yeah, definitely going 3 wide with these things on Iowa. That's definitely a good feat in itself as she edges everybody out there. But it looks like they're going to try and go 3 wide again there in the turn.
Yeah, all right, now speaking of 3-wide saloon, Brandon Pike now looking to intervene on the battle ahead. Kern and Taylor going at Con, loving every minute of this, knowing he can just start running away from the field. Pike right now doing everything he can to move in and take a shot or two at him. If Pike can get a good jump into the corner, he might have a shot here. Chantel already up back in the top 5. She is wheeling and dealing this one in. She has a good shot, but she's got to be careful about those turns. Don't let the car rotate too much. She has to get back up to the top quickly and get the speeds to carry over.
Yeah, like I said earlier, these cars can definitely be a little bit deceiving too. You get a little excited and you want to go 3 wide, battle for position too. You can definitely the rear end can definitely swing around on you pretty quick on these things too, even though as they have a little bit less horsepower. It still definitely can happen.
It can indeed, and Todd Suss right now showing how hard that is and how difficult it is. He's been so cool and so chill about it right now. He's been trying to stay away from making a mistake and trying to make an issue out there. And right now, Matthew Hofford even intervening a little bit with Tom Lanier following from behind. Multiple drivers in this one looking to go at it in a last-ditch shootout in the back. You got Pax fighting out in the second and the 5th on back, whereas the leader, Robert Kahn, well, let's just say he's currently just having his own little playground up ahead.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely coming to crunch time. You're going to see a lot of the aggression's going to set in a little bit more. You're going to make those moves for positions and everything as the time winds down.
But speaking of time running down at turn 4, didn't mean to interrupt you, but Pike just completely lost that one. Loses a lot of time and a lot of position now. He's got the 5 and the 08 to deal with, as well as Todd Tuss from the inside.
Oh yeah, definitely. You can definitely get a little aggressive, like I was saying there. You can can definitely mess up real quick if you get too eager about it, you know, as the laps wind down here.
You certainly can indeed. That really just kind of showed up in all forms of the wrong direction. The tires have got to be tore up a little bit more on Pike's car now because of that situation. Nick Kern still hammering down, staying ahead just enough of the 07 of Cindy Taylor. There's problems down there for Stanley Powell once again. He crashes in completely off of turn 2, and the 48 just continues to struggle at Iowa.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like there's a pretty considerable damage on that car again. He's definitely struggling to keep it there between the lines for now.
But it's working out all right. Still, at least he's hanging in
there. He spins out trying to get in the pits there, mate. See if we can get in there.
He did indeed, and Jerry Keeney almost being a bit of a nuisance here to Robert Kahn. Kahn actually had to get around him on the back straightaway, had to get a little bit of that block off. Keeney trying to stay out of the way. He dives right in between Kern, and they split it right between the middle. Ho-ho!
That's definitely another big factor into it too, especially racing these short tracks, man. Those lap traffic, they can definitely get you.
That is definitely the case. Bikini nearly cost both drivers that one badly. Pike gets into the back of the 5 there, and Chantel managing to hold him down as the caution flies. Problems for Matthew Hofford and Wally Babb in turn 2 in the back straightaway. I couldn't even see what happened there. The madness was just starting up, and that has almost turned into a green-white checkered situation. This could get ugly, folks.
Oh yeah, definitely. That lap car there, that definitely threw those guys for a loop. I can't believe they'd slice and dice their way around that. That was some pretty good driving there.
I have absolutely no idea indeed. We'll take a look at that from another angle just to give you guys a brief experience of what that was. But first, let's take a look here right now what we saw between Wally Babb and Hofford. Looked like Babb just kind of drove in a little too off-centered there. He was a little too much into the throttle going up, and he ends up just lifting a little too much into the 28, kind of dives in a little bit trying to keep his line, and Babb unfortunately takes a little bit of a bump, kind of a racing ordeal in my opinion, but we'll take another look at it from the chopper cam here just to give you guys a better idea of what it was like there. It's just an unfortunate circumstance. Todd Tuss falls off the ground. Babb tries to make the pass. He knows he's kind of cooped up the goose. He thinks he's got a reset, and he just tries up slightly, and Hofford gets slightly down, and yeah, like I said before, these things, the suspension on them is not the best at all, but thankfully, though, no one getting too serious or injured in that one. But I want to go ahead and take a look at this one from another angle here. Here is Jerry Keeney's ride here on the chopper. We actually have that. We have got 2 cameras in that chopper cam right now. Here's what happened between him and Kahn. He nearly clips Kahn there coming off turn 2 there, Ken, and literally gets a little piece of him. Now, here's where we were just jumping all over the place. Watch 3 and 4. Watch this. Keeney drives up a little bit up to the high side, tries to back her down. Watch Kern have to evade some maneuver action, and Cindy just completely driving it straight down the bottom just to get away from him. Cross threads the needle, and a perfect 3-wide salute clears it. Beautifully done.
Yeah, definitely some good evasive driving there for sure. That was good stuff there.
And is that going to be enough for either one of them to win this race? Because now, well, right now, I got to believe Kahn's face on that car right now is exactly how he's feeling. He's not too happy about this one. He's probably exactly with his mouth wide open. He's like, oh, come on. He's probably thinking, I had this one.
Could use some... You definitely use some different shorts after that one. That's for sure.
We'll get him a few. We'll get him a few Iowa beers. He'll be fine. He'll be all right. And Kathleen also reminding Robert, your aunts are watching. Nice paint scheme. Whoops. I swear, I wish you could see it live right now. I know, for the record of home folks, for those at home that don't know, iRacing, sometimes you can't quite see what we're seeing on the show. I have to actually have a certain setting to make sure you can see the custom numbers on these rides, like you can see with Nick Kern's ride. It's actually designed more for the actual car scheme, or even I believe Matthew Hofford's got the same look. It's kind of differentiated out, but you know, for drivers like that, or you know, even we just seen before on the custom numbers like James and Marauder Harris's 4 usually see on the Cup and trucks. Those are custom scheme numbers done up for the drivers. They actually are not, you know, sim painted like iRacing does. And right now Ken has got that situation going for him, but I guarantee you one of these days I'm gonna just have to buy him a paint scheme where his actual number is stuck onto that thing and it will not be removed over from the sim stamp. So just a heads up there, and that's also a reason why you're not seeing Khan's number popping up on his car. So
yeah, definitely. That's a Interesting scheme. I've seen it before, and I definitely know what it is.
You can't
Very
you
interesting.
just have to watch it live though when he tries to run that thing in. Every time someone passes him, I just imagine he's gotta be so bewildered and frustrated that that's exactly his face he just makes every time he gets out on that track. I swear on my grave.
Well, imagine this. You're in first and you see that face coming up. You look in your mirror behind you and you see that. How do you think you would feel?
I feel less scared than actually seeing the ripper jaws of a U.S. Air Force Afterburner 43 right behind me. No offense to Bubba Wallace, but he may have not been able to drive as well as he had that car looking. But hey, at least the car looks good.
Yeah. Yep, definitely.
All right, this is a green-white checkered attempt, if you can believe it or not. This will be only 2 laps to go on the restart. Robert Kahn had a solid lead, but now he's going to have to go against his old rival, the Sidney Closer Taylor. And then even Nick Kern is going to have a shot to take this one over. And Chantel Bottle, despite the early problems there, has one last chance to win another one at Iowa. And maybe in her mind, a little redemption for not winning a single race that first season other than the very first race ever shown on PT Race TV. Will that be the case, or will Brandon Pike on the asphalt side go back-to-back and win in the street stocks from the super lates? This is what Pushing Limits is all about, pushing your mental state, pushing your cars to the fullest potential, and coming away with a battle unlike any other. We're down to the final 2 laps here to the green flag. We start them up. Next time, it'll be white flag as we go green, green, green.
As we go green, the the rattlesnake pulls out to the lead there. This is going to definitely be a crazy battle here at it comes to the finish line.
It definitely will indeed right now out of the gate. Kern getting a good run on the bottom line. Cindy, though, charging hard off the outside. Looks like Chantel backing off slightly as Brandon Pike moves in. Maybe setting up for the kill blow. We know all too well what happens here. Kern looking for an opening. Sees a slight edge there from Kahn. Cindy Taylor, though, up on the outside. Rocks her way to the white flag this time by.
As we see Kern going down here down low, it looks like Robert the Rattlesnake Kahn, he blocks him there as number 7 stays up high. Maybe that's makes a little counter move there as she goes low.
Tom Lander into the wall out of turn 2. He smashes it completely. Cindy going for one last kill. Switch down to the bottom, run for quick. Kern trying to block her off. Get one more run on Robert Kahn. Not enough. Robert the Rattlesnake Kahn is going to win at Iowa Speedway in a barn burner finish.
Wow, that's a good green-white checker. They kept it pretty clean there for the most part. That was really good.
I've been thoroughly impressed right now with Pushing Limits as of late on the show. They've been, ever since season 1, they've been extremely clean. No matter where they go or it seems where they do, other than, obviously the little bumping and banging and side skirting we saw back with Bark River Speedway last time out. They've been extremely good about it and very good. And you can see Robert Kahn, as versatile as ever, wins another one here on the show.
Yeah, definitely for sure.
Top 5 finishing out, Pottle, Pike, Taylor, Kern, and Kahn. As I believe these drivers probably are wishing that they could have had one of these street stock races in season 1 with pedal to the metal. These drivers, just for the record, folks, when we first came out with them, it was a bit of a mess and a caution fest for a couple races out there, but now they've really dived in and really start to figure these things out. It just goes to show you the maturity these drivers now have and possess with cars they had struggled so long ago with. It's just amazing to me to see how far this has all gone.
Yeah, definitely. And the Pushing the Limits League, it definitely never disappoints. That's why I enjoy it so thoroughly. It's always really good racing as of now too. I can't wait to see what's going to happen next week too with those next gen cars at Bristol.
We will see very soon enough. Here's our final results. The Rattlesnake wins it all. Second to Nick Kern. Third to Cindy Taylor. Fourth to Brandon Pike. Fifth to Chantel Bottle. Sixth to Jeffrey Todd Tufts. 7th to Matthew Hofford, 8th to Keith Checkmate Taylor, 9th to Dustin Sonaker, 10th to Tom Lanier, 11th to Jerry Keeney, 12th to Wally Babb, and 12th going to Stanley Pottle. That will round out the field for your finishers here tonight, as Kahn just does a little victory lap around what is actually technically the road course version of Iowa Speedway. And no, I've never seen this actual be done on real life racing, so please do not ask me at home.
It looks like he's just in the parking lot to me.
I think he's trying to park in the front. There's a road course down there. Don't get me wrong. There actually is a rallycross area you can do. I think he's trying to park with the semis over there. He thinks he's the boss hog of this place.
Lining up the big rigs.
He is a character, all right. But all right, Well, Ken, I'm gonna head on out from here. I gotta go talk with some drivers here and have a little word with them. But man, what a pleasure it has been to bring you back onto the show. Thanks again for tuning in, my friend.
Yes, sir. As always, bud. I'll be back on here next week. So as of then.
All right. Until then, hasta la vista, my friend. I will see you next week. But I'm gonna head down real quick. I gotta run off from the grandstands down to the booth. I'll see you here in a minute.
Later.
Good to hear from old Kenneth Crawford, and good to hear from our race winner here tonight. The Rattlesnake Robert on joins me back in victory lane. Another victory here for the Rattlesnake, two times as nice, and he will get it between two different series. And Con, I gotta believe when you guys first started with these street stocks back a whole year ago, if you can believe it or not, I didn't think for 1 second we'd be running in a different series, different league all of a sudden, and now you're returning to victory lane. Kind of nothing changed, has it? Looks like he didn't quite cure us there. We'll see if we can get him back on here. Con, you got a copy? Give him the old minute here, folks. He might be figuring out how to push his buttons right. Con, it's too early to celebrate with a few beers, but you got to talk with us eventually here. Brandon Pike saying fun race at the end here, and way to go, Bobby from Kathleen. Love you, Moldy, as well from Kathleen. Great to have you back, Kathleen. Hope you're enjoying the show and definitely enjoying Moldy's company, which is Kenneth, if for those at home that are wondering. That's just his nickname, Moldy Interior. It's what he went by in the NASCAR series, so just heads up. Certainly was a show, though, and great action-packed adventures here tonight. Still no word from Robert Kahn. Try again here. Kahn, you got a copy?
I do, I do.
All right. Did you hear anything we've said the first two times here on the show?
No, I did not.
Okay. So once again, I mean, you're 1 year ago. You guys were running in a different series, different league, and everything, but you was running these street stocks, and obviously it shows just the maturity and the development you guys have created. Man, what a race it has been for you guys.
Oh yeah, man, it's been fun. I mean, it's cool running those old street stocks again, and then comparing your notes from what times you ran last time you ran there, which was like over a year ago, and it's really cool to see the improvement over a year that you gain.
It is indeed, and nevertheless, here you're walking away with a W here in a different league in a different series. Man, I gotta ask you, who do you want to thank you for this win? Really, what got you to the dance here tonight?
Man, you know what? Just enjoy the game, man. I do a lot of practice, but the people who got us here, Big PC, can't thank them enough. Every sponsor we have that's part of us, I really appreciate, and I appreciate all the hard work that you put in and everyone else does in this league. So thank you, and we move on to Kentucky next week for Xfinity. So we'll see you there.
All right, for sure there, Con. We'll see you then and there, but for now, enjoy your victory here tonight as you win once more on the show.
Thanks, baby.
Robert Kahn, the Rattlesnake, first place here tonight. Now joining me here is your second place finisher here tonight. It is the Feel the Burn, Nick Kern. And Kern, you was charging quick. You was charging fast. It looked like you had an opening there, and Cindy kind of blocked you a little bit too. What was going on down there?
Well, pretty much all I gotta say is this track might as well have dirt on it because that's what it felt like. I mean, the mid to high side seemed to be where I was most comfortable at, and yeah, me and Cindy. I mean, she was just always on the inside, so I had to, watch out how far down I had to come, and I tried to, pile it on at the end, but. Yeah, like I said, it was a handful. Like I said, this track might as well have dirt on it at this point because it was like a dirt track for me.
Well, you do realize we are in Iowa, and I think I've hooped and hollered enough about just how much, Iowa is well known for its dirt tracks. This track is kind of designed for that mindset and mentality if you kind of haven't figured that out yet, buddy. But, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, hey, man, you literally had to go full charge and full send to try to get away with this one here. Is there anybody you want to thank for the second place finisher tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone at Horse Hugs Fifth Ford Racing, everyone at New Holland Auto Shine, and pretty much everyone involved with PTM, all our sponsors, and yeah, of course, you Crusaders, you and Ken putting on, like I said, a hell of a broadcast.
Hey man, it's always fun to have old Kenji or Kenneth, whatever the heck he wants to be called around here. I love talking with him again. So it's great to have him back. Great to hear from you as well, sir. Congratulations on a second place finisher tonight.
Yep, no problem, bud.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Kern, feel the burn tonight here at Iowa Speedway. Your final finisher will be Cindy the Coulter Taylor. Comes away third place here tonight. And really, that all but wraps up our show for Pushing Limits, that is. Coming up next, Auto Club Speedway, competition-style road course racing. It's time for the Riley Challenge to present itself. We've seen them battle it out before. Will they bring us another stellar show? This is a track we've never seen on the road course style, so this will be interesting. But for now, please, now, be safe. God bless. Take care. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. Enjoy the next show coming up here in just about 20 short minutes.